Hello guys, I hope you're having a good night. Let's wait for some people to join. Hello, yeah, I can see some people are joining in. Good night from England. Okay, so I think we can start because the video will be saved, so you can watch it later if you missed the beginning. I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm Afsoon. I'm from Iran, and I recently finished my PhD in cell biology at University of Exeter in England. So today I want to talk about my experience as a volunteer teacher in Ghana. The story is that after my PhD, I decided to take a break and just follow my dreams, which was doing volunteer work. And one of the countries I always wanted to visit was Ghana. So that's how I decided to look for projects to just travel to Ghana and do something good with my skills. So that's how I started teaching as a computer skills, they call it there, in Ghana. Just to tell you about what volunteer work is basically it's an unpaid activity that you basically just donate your time and your skills to a great cause that you believe in. It can be really diverse. It can be towards medical internships, wildlife, being a psychologist, helping kids, being a teacher. So it's really, really diverse. It really depends on what the skill set you have and what you want to do. And one of the ways that you can find volunteer opportunities is basically just really easy Googling. So that's what I did. So I started looking for projects in Ghana. One of the websites I can recommend is called Trend in Africa, especially if you have a scientific background. That's that website. So you put your skill sets, and then it will put you into contact with universities in Africa. So the professors will get in touch with you, and then you can basically go there. So there were many projects. When I was doing it, one was teaching, doing how to do PCR basically in Accra, or just teaching English in one of the universities. So there are many opportunities based on what you like. And also you ask about how to make sure the organizations are legit. So one of the things I would recommend is following them on social medias, the NGOs, and see what are they stand for. If you can get in touch with other volunteers, that would be the best. You can ask them how was their experience, and how did they like it, do they have any recommendations. So that's one of the best ways. And so about my project and why I chose Ghana, and I can see some questions. How long I was in Ghana for? So I was there for a month. Well, I'm back to research life. Basically, I'm looking for jobs at the moment. So yeah, it's a long process, as you all know. So it's taking time. But going back to Ghana, so as I said, it's one of the countries I wanted to visit. And basically, when you want to do volunteer work, you have to, it is like a really cheap vacation, I would say. And one of the reasons was that I wanted to do teaching, and Ghana is one of the countries that they don't ask for a certificate, so you don't need any, really, you don't have to show them that you have a certificate in teaching. So that was one of the reasons. And also, well, you know, I love traveling, and well, Ghana it has a really vibrant nature. The people are really nice and friendly. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to visit Ghana. So, you know, because you work during the week, but if you have the weekend for yourself, you always can go around and do some activities. I can see my friend is here as well. So she was also doing volunteer teaching with me in Ghana. And well, she went hiking actually, I didn't, but you know, there are many other opportunities. You can just travel around. And so one of the other reasons was that, you know, of course, with volunteer work, it's true that you donate your time and skills, but also you gain a lot of other things. For example, self-confidence, I would say, because with the teaching, it sounds really easy, but it's actually really hard. So you have to be really creative, you have to be really enthusiastic, and you have to be able to engage the kids. And also, according to my experience, the teachers where I was teaching, they were really supportive with that. So they were open to suggestions. They were really, you know, they wanted us to be creative, and they would let us lead the class as we want. So that was also one of the reasons I chose Ghana, because I heard a lot of good things about it. And the good point is the language. So in Ghana, as you know, the national language is English. Of course, they have their own tribal languages. So the kids, especially the little ones, of course, they speak their language. They're not that exposed to English, but at least they have the fundamental base. So it was really easy to communicate with them, especially the older ones. They speak perfect English, of course. So that was one of the reasons. And in West Africa, I think Ghana is the fewest country that they actually speak English. So that was a really easy task for us to be able to teach there. And the other thing is, well, the locals are really friendly. So I've been asked this question a lot, if I was feeling safe in Ghana, and the question, and I always have this answer for them that yes, I was feeling really safe. I mean, I've been living and traveling around Europe, and actually in Ghana I was feeling the safest. We could totally, me and my friend that Janet is here, we were walking late night back home, and there was no issues, no troubles. We never had any bad experience, I would say. And about this specific program, so you can choose. So basically, some of the organization, they ask for a fee from you. So the fee goes towards food, accommodation. It depends on the program. So, and also the admin work, and also just to be able to keep up the organization. But so it depends on how much they will ask. In our case, we were living in a host family, so it was really great deal. We would have the food in their house, and we were just like a 5 minutes walking distance from the school. And so the benefits of the volunteer works, as I said, you will gain a lot of confidence, because you give the chance to yourself that actually try something new, and build a real sense of what you have achieved so far. And also you can really can make a difference. I mean, it is true, it was just a month we were there, but I would say the relationship that we built and then we are trying to maintain with everyone in the school and the students is really meaningful. And it's really important that yes, you are there for a month, you teach the students, but it's not all about just teaching. It's also about being able to inspire the kids to just follow their dreams, and you know, everything is possible. Then they'll be exposed to people from other countries. For example, they never heard about my country, Iran. I had to show them on the map where Iran is, and you know, that's really interesting for them. And the other good point is obviously meeting new people. I made a lot of good friends, and yeah, that's also something that you can't experience by just traveling somewhere and not be able to, you know, if you just go for a vacation, you wouldn't have that chance. And one of the things is also you be able to be part of the community, because you actually live in their houses, so you really embrace the culture, the way that they make the food, they eat. We tried many new things, so we're just carrying the buckets of water, you know, on our head, like something that I've never done before. And also the thing is you take the challenge, so you actually prove to yourself that you can live in a situation which is out of your comfort zone, and you'll be able to survive that. So that's also another good point of doing volunteer work. And so about Ghana, well, yes, as I said, the people are really friendly. The food is really great. I never had any issues, and yeah, it is just, I would really recommend it. It was a really great country, and I've been asked that if I want to go back there, I definitely will do that. So I'm just gonna go through your questions and say, oh, hello, everyone is here, my family. And yeah, one of the things people ask is why I chose to do teaching, and also something that is not my field. As I said, I studied cell biology, but I was teaching computer skills. So the course was actually really basic. So we had the students from the age of 6 to 16. So even with the older ones, it was really easy. It was just basically how to use the internet, how to write an email, how to use different softwares. But for me, because I also had the chance to work in Accra, teach at the university, but I was thinking that, you know, that's something I will eventually do if I want to stay in science and, you know, work in the lab. So I would prefer to be in a rural area. So we're basically just living in a village. So I wanted to really be in that situation of be able to try something new but more challenging. So for me, staying in Accra, which is the capital, and do something that I always do, teach the undergraduates, wasn't that appealing as it was to teach to the kids in a village. And you asked about the language. So I mentioned briefly that yes, they speak English in Ghana, but they have their own tribal languages. The mainly is 3 of them. Is Chi, Ewe, and Ga, if I'm pronouncing the last one correctly. Which is, they are totally different. So even the people from Ghana, sometimes they don't understand each other if they are from different parts. But as I said, everyone speaks English, so that's not an issue. And let me just go through the questions. And yes, so you also asked about if there were any problems or challenges. Well, yes, they of course. One of the main things was that it was a bit difficult to plan things. I mean, I think it just comes from because of the difference in culture, and that was something that we got used to really easily. We just learned that, okay, we have to communicate with them better. For example, I didn't know the syllables, the courses that I have to teach until the first day. Yeah, but of course it was really basic, it wasn't a problem. But for me, and like if you come from a scientific background, you really want to plan, you want to make that Excel sheet and know, okay, today I'm going to teach this, this and this. But it wasn't like this in Ghana. It was more relaxed, and yeah, it was a bit stressful at the beginning. But then we learned that, okay, if we ask and we tell, okay, this is our way, actually the communication works. So at the end, it wasn't any issues with that. And some of the organization, yes, Janet is asking about the electricity and water supply. That's the issue there. Fortunately, we were okay, because the village that we were in, they had the backup tank, but the water scarcity is one of the main issues in Ghana. So there are many areas that they don't have water, and also the electricity. So yes, there were nights that we didn't have the lights, so we would go back home at 4 and then it was already dark and we didn't have light. So yeah, we're just talking with Janet basically in the room. But for me, it was a really great experience. And yeah, it was a really hard situation. That's something that you don't think about anymore, because of course in Iran also there are areas that we don't have water, and I experienced it as a child as well. But I think you forgot the privilege of having the clean water. And also, yeah, you can't drink the water, so you have to get the bottles, the mineral water basically. So let me just go through the questions again. So yeah, and then you ask about the fees of the program. As I mentioned, so it goes through the accommodation, the food, but so based on what program you choose, there are different fees. It can be, yes, really expensive, but I assume it's so they will give you the better accommodation, and most of the NGOs, they also provide the transportation from the airport. So that's another thing that the cost will go to. And so some of the NGOs or the websites I can recommend are, as I mentioned earlier, so it's Trend in Africa. So especially for you scientists, if you want to have a break from your science life, that's a really great one. It's Hope Mission, which they are also working in Ghana. It is African Impact, and Volunteer Abroad, which is the website that, so basically you put the country that you're interested in, and also whatever you want to do, and so it will give you options, it will give you different programs, and then it will direct you to their websites. So that's also a really good website. And as I've mentioned, so the best ways is social media now. Just try to get the recommendations from the other volunteers, go to their web pages, and then see if there are any reviews. So that's the best way to make sure that you are actually safe. And let me just check. I think I went through everything almost. So do you guys have any questions here? And yes, to my Iranian friends also. Yeah, of course this is in English, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, I think I went through almost everything. Just to wrap it up. Yeah, someone is saying that they might consider it when they finish the undergrad. I think actually that's the best way. Oh, thank you. Actually, that was a really good point that you mentioned. So I wanted to say that I don't think there is an age limit for doing the volunteer work. Don't think, even if you finish your postdoc, or you know, it doesn't have a time limit or the age limit, so you can do it whenever you want. And of course you have to have the free time, but so this was something I always wanted to do, but then I was thinking, oh, maybe it's too late after my PhD. But actually, no, it's a great experience, and I can see many volunteers with different ages, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, that's a good question, Jenna. Thank you. If you want to be a volunteer in Ghana, I think the main thing is the mosquito repellent. And actually, I just remember something else about, because one of the questions about safety was also about the if there are diseases or you're in danger. So the main issue in Ghana that's also is required for the visa is you have to have the vaccination against yellow fever. So you basically just get the shots. So also there are certain other vaccinations that you have to do, and then you're safe to go. And of course you have to put the mosquito repellents, and you get the malaria prophylaxis. So other things that you have to have, mosquito nets, obviously, to just be safe. If also you're scared like me of the spiders, that's the best thing you can have. And yes, just have a book to read. And yeah, because you don't have much internet. So it is also a good change. So you're not, for me, because I always watch series, so it really changed my routine. So I was being able to actually communicate with people more and just put my phone away. Yeah, so just to, what do you do there? Oh, I just mentioned, so I was teaching computer skills in Ghana, but I'm back in the UK now. So yeah, just to wrap it up, I think it's almost half an hour. So yes, I would definitely recommend the volunteer work. It's not an easy task, of course, but it is really important because you really use your skills for a good cause that you believe in. It can be anything. And also it is good for your self-confidence. It's good that you take on a challenge, and don't think that it's something that you basically, it will be a gap on your CV, because actually it really boosts your CV if you have that experience of volunteer work. I can see it now because I'm applying for jobs, and actually one of the most things that the employers are interested in, they ask me, oh, your CV says that you've been in Ghana for a month, and why is that? So actually for them that's more interesting than looking at my PhD degree. So don't think that it will be a waste or a gap in your CV. So yes, that's it. And yeah, I have a summary of sort of what I said on my page as well, so if you want to check it out. But yeah, so that this video will be saved, and so you can watch it later if you just join now. If there are no more questions, I think that will be it for tonight. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, yes, I think I answered all, yes, everything. Okay guys, thank you, and thank you for the Addictive Brain page for having me. It's such a great page, initiative, really diverse videos, and yep, have a good night guys. Bye.